James, as I was traveling back from South Florida, is that last week or this past week, and I think you were as well. I noticed some things. Things have really changed over the last several months in the airports. So I wanted to share a couple of things, and I know you've got some things you want to share as well about how technology is interplaying with the traveler experience in airports. I think we've come a long way, just from simply having Clear to now being able to step up to a machine and it takes, your facial recognition, and from that, you don't even have to show your ID in some cases or your boarding pass in some cases. A lot going on there.
Yeah, I mean, technology, when it's done right, it's really making the experience better, isn't it? My last trip, which was just last week, I got dropped off at the curb and I was inside the terminal, buying a cup of coffee 5 minutes later
3 hours before your flight, but
and 3 hours before my flight. That's correct. Well, it's better than doing the mic run down the terminal to the gate. But, literally 5 minutes. Now, that's because, I have some status with the airline. So I have a special place to drop my bag and get some service. I have Clear, which takes me, with TSA, which takes me to the front of the line. I know how you feel about that, Mike. And TSA, which made it easier for me to get through security. New security equipment which makes things easier. Also, you don't have to take all these things out of your bag. You don't have to really do much at all. And even at the TSA agent, I may get to the front of the line, but now the facial recognition is so good that it just takes a quick photo, a second, and you're through. And I saw that in Europe too. In fact, Europe is a little ahead, at least ahead of the airports that I use here in the United States. There might be some that are better, but in the New York area, I think we're lagging behind a little because in Europe, the facial recognition was so good. You just walk through an e-gate. You never have to go up to a customs or border official. You never have to wait in line for anything. You just, slide your passport in, or you just look at the camera and you're through the gates. And the same true, that's at the border, but the same is true even at the airline gates themselves to board the plane. So it's just getting better and better and faster and faster. And I think airports are the thing that I complain about most in the travel experience. So this is good news for me.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely gotten much better. I've been one of the holdouts and not getting a real ID, and part of that, and I'm sure our listeners know that by now you should have had your real ID to be able to get through security at the airports, unless you have a passport. If you have a passport, then you don't need the real ID. But I went to my local DMV, got instructions on all that it took to get what they call a real ID, and that paperwork is still sitting on my desk 6 months later. And luckily for me, Apple came out with a solution. So, if you do have an Apple device, and this may be available on Google as well, but for sure it's available on Apple because I've used it. They have a way that you can create a digital ID that will drop into your Apple Wallet. So, your Apple Wallet, which I'm finding
Mhm.
is becoming more and more useful every day. There's a process, and you can Google this. It's very simple to do and takes virtually no time, but you basically scan your passport. There's some kind of KYC, know your customer type thing that takes place. And ultimately, what happens is it drops a little card, if you will, into your Apple Wallet. And then when you go to the airport, instead of pulling out your ID or your passport, you just scan this little blue card, which I would show you on my phone, but it may contain something. And I'm sure there's some bad person out there that would replicate and steal my identity. So I'm not going to. Um, but you basically just scan that, and then it that serves as your ID. So you don't have to pull out your passport or your driver's license or
I didn't know about that. I'm going to check it out.
yeah, it's really easy to do too. There are some that I did read that there are some backwards airports like those in New York that probably have not adopted this yet, but, your more forward-thinking airports in the South have, generally adopted these.
Listen, what you said about Real ID, and if you do mess up and you don't have yours, there is a small penalty you can pay at the airport, and they'll validate for that one trip. But, I always say, this is my famous phrase around here, step number 1, get a passport. I just wanna be ready to go, you know? So it's my advice to all my friends and family and everybody I run into in the travel industry is get a passport. Everyone should have a passport, and then you don't have any of these issues. My other tip, I will tell you, because we were talking a little bit about crossing international borders. Now, domestically, Mike and I have Clear and TSA PreCheck, but you can internationally, you can have Global Entry. That's a great program to get in and out of the United States without waiting online. Now all automated. But if you don't want to do that, because it does cost a bit, although you might have a discount or some benefit with your, if you're a big frequent flyer program or maybe your credit card, you might. There are some offers out there. But if you don't, there's a lesser known program that is free. It's called Mobile Passport. It's a free app you can download from the government, and it is a fast lane when you're crossing the international borders. So at border control, only here in the United States, none of these programs work in other countries. You can get trusted traveler programs in other countries if there's a particular country that you travel to a lot. So I have a trusted traveler status in the UK with their program. The programs we're talking about are only good at the US border. But Mobile Passport is a little known, free thing you can do. Fill it out when you land on your phone, and then you can go through these fast automated aisles as if you had global entry. So
Yeah, I don't think the cost for Global Entry, and it's been a while since I've done it, but I don't think it was.
I thought it was like $180, but I could be wrong.
If I had to give up one thing, either that or Clear, I would definitely give up Clear, which I'm not a fan of anyway. It's just a way for rich people to cut in line,
It's a
and
line cutting program, yes.
I am being a hypocrite because I did use it. I said I would not use it, but I did use it in Fort Lauderdale this weekend because there was a massive line, so,
Yeah, I've been in some busy airports lately, and I've been happy to have it. Look, there's technology in other areas of the travel industry too. Cruise lines are giving you what look like little watches that have a chip in them. At hotels, more and more, I'm using digital keys on my phone, so I don't have to have a physical key to the room. What I like about the digital keys is some of the programs allow you to pre-select your room, like even the day before you check in online, and you can pick the room looking at floor plans for the hotel. And I like that because then I can pick a corner room or a room that looks bigger or whatever. It seems to give you a little bit better choice that way. So technology's, infiltrating the experience everywhere. But the one area that really needed improvement, airports, seems to be getting a lot of it.
yes, it is, and all for the better, as you said.